Democracy in the United Kingdom. An overview. Democracy is at the heart of political life in the United Kingdom. It allows citizens to have a voice in how the country is run and ensures that those in power are held accountable. But what does democracy really look like in practice? In this essay, we'll explore how decisions are made in the UK, how people can participate, who holds influence, how representation works, and the strengths and weaknesses of the voting system used to elect members of parliament, MPs, power and decision-making. The UK is a democratic society, which means power ultimately lies with the people. A key feature of any democracy is that citizens can choose their leaders through free and fair elections. Other important features include the rule of law, where everyone, including the government, must follow the law, and the protection of individual rights such as free speech and peaceful protest. A true democracy also welcomes different viewpoints, which is why the UK allows multiple political parties to compete for power. The way power is distributed in the UK is shaped by both reserved and devolved matters. Reserved matters are controlled by the UK Parliament in Westminster. These include issues like foreign policy, immigration, and defense. On the other hand, devolved matters, such as education, health, and transport, are the responsibility of devolved governments like the Scottish Parliament. This allows different parts of the UK to make decisions that reflect their own priorities and values. At the center of the UK government is the Prime Minister, who is the head of government and one of the most powerful political figures in the country. The Prime Minister leads the cabinet, sets the direction of government policy, and represents the UK on the global stage. They also have the power to appoint ministers, shape legislation, and respond to national crises. However, the Prime Minister's power is not unlimited. They are held accountable by Parliament and can even be removed through a vote of no confidence. Participation. One of the most important aspects of a democratic society is the ability for people to get involved. In the UK, individuals have both rights and responsibilities. They have the right to vote, to protest, to join political parties, and to express their views freely. Alongside these rights come responsibilities, such as obeying the law, respecting others' opinions, and using the right to vote wisely. There are many ways for individuals to participate in politics. Voting in elections is the most common, but people can also attend political meetings, campaign for a cause, or contact their local MP. Some people even choose to stand as candidates themselves. These opportunities ensure that people don't just watch democracy happen, they help shape. Political parties play a big role in this process. They create manifestos, campaign for support, and aim to get their members elected. Campaigns often involve door-to-door canvassing, media appearances, and social media engagement. Speaking of media, it too plays a huge part in democratic participation. Newspapers, television, and online platforms keep people informed, shape opinions, and can influence how people vote. However, media bias is a concern, as some outlets support particular parties or twist facts to fit an agenda. Influence in a democracy. In a democratic society, various groups try to influence decision-making. The media is one of the most powerful of these. It informs the public about current events and holds politicians to account by reporting on scandals, debates, and policies. On the flip side, it can sometimes be biased or sensationalized, leading people to form opinions based on misleading information. Another major source of influence comes from pressure groups. These are organizations that campaign for specific causes, like environmental protection, human rights, or healthcare. Groups like Greenpeace or the British Medical Association aim to influence policy by lobbying politicians, organizing protests, and using social media to raise awareness. While they aren't elected, pressure groups can have a big impact. For example, campaigns have led to smoking bans and climate change legislation. However, critics argue that some pressure groups, especially well-funded ones, can have too much influence without being democratically accountable. Representation in the UK Parliament. MPs represent the people who elect them. Their job is to debate and vote on laws, raise concerns on behalf of their constituents, and hold the government to account. They also attend local surgeries where members of the public can bring forward issues or complaints. Despite the importance of representation, some groups remain underrepresented. Women and ethnic minorities, for example, are still not equally represented in Parliament. This is due to a mix of historical inequalities, lack of support, and systemic barriers. To address this, political parties have introduced measures like all-women shortlists and mentoring schemes to encourage more diverse candidates. Another important part of Parliament is the House of Lords, which reviews legislation passed by the House of Commons. It's made up of life peers, some bishops, and a few hereditary peers. While it brings expertise and acts as a check on the government, it has been criticized for being unelected and unaccountable, raising questions about its place in a modern democracy. Voting systems. The UK uses a system called First Past the Post, FPTP, to elect MPs to the House of Commons. Under FPTP, the country is divided into constituencies. Voters choose one candidate, and the person with the most votes wins. It's a simple system that often produces clear results and stable governments. It also creates a strong link between MPs and their local areas. However, FPTP has its drawbacks. Because only the winning candidate's votes count, many people feel their vote is wasted. It also tends to favor larger parties and underrepresent smaller ones. For example, a party can win the most seats without winning the most votes overall. This can lead to unfair outcomes and discourage some people from voting. Conclusion: the UK is a complex and evolving democracy. It offers many opportunities for people to get involved, from voting to campaigning. Power is shared between different US levels of government, and individuals, media, and pressure groups all play a role in shaping policy. However, challenges remain, such as unequal representation and questions about the fairness of the voting system. Understanding how democracy works helps us become more informed citizens and ensures we use our voices to shape the society we live in.